A real friend is somebody who loves you the way you are, but then he or she loves you too much to leave you the way you are. Now, I understand those are very contradicting features, right? Somebody loves you the way you are, but he's too loving, or he feels too attached to you to leave you the way you are. Now, here's what I mean by that. So there are many people who will come around your life and they see you doing a whole lot of wrong things. They are not concerned about it. They don't care about you. So wherever you go in, if you're derailing, it's none of their business. All they want is to, get into association with you just to benefit what you have to offer. So it doesn't matter to them what you're doing with your life. If you're doing something wrong, if you're going to the pit, if you're going to hell, in fact, they don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on another pathfinding section. Have you ever been in a room where it felt totally awkward? You felt totally alienated from everybody in that group of people? Now, the question is, why was it that way? And the answer to that is simple. And I want you to stick around so you get a better understanding of what we're going to be elaborating on today. Why is it that you could step into a group of people, a room filled with people, and you feel totally alienated from everybody? It seemed as though you were not supposed to be there. This is the answer. You had no friend in that group. And I know there are many of us who take the view that, it's not totally wise to step into a room and try to socialize. And many people do try to do that too very arduously, right? They try too much. And I'm not in support of that. I don't actually believe that you should step into any room and force yourself on people. It seems intimidating and kind of scary. So when you step into a room, it's good you mingle, but don't force yourself on anybody. If you go walk up to somebody and the person isn't willing to listen to you, just move on, right? So that's one very important thing you should know first of all. Now, I want you to stick to the end of this video. Why? Because I actually have two special bonuses, total giveaways, free from me to you, and I trust it's going to better your life. So stick around to the end of this video so you can have these two special bonuses from us here at the Pathfinders, and that, I trust, will better your life. First things first, there are 5 things you need to understand that any association you're having currently, you will ever have, you're going to have in the future, you had in the past, did to you. Every association does 5 major things to every single individual. And there are people who take the view that, it's not necessary that you keen yourself too in-depth into any relationship. And they try to, shallow themselves from all their relationships. They have no close friends. They keep people far away from themselves. And they try to be loners, right? I'm not one of those. I'm not in support of that. I trust that we are individuals as people, but it's necessary we associate ourselves with others if we're going to fast forward our lives, achieve better things, enjoy ourselves, right, as humans, because life is actually precious and you want to share experiences with others. And the only way you can share experiences with others is if you get close to others, right? So every relationship in your life right now will do 5 things to you. Number 1 is that all associations will influence your discretions and your decisions. Let me explain what I mean by that very quickly. So we were 3 guys just chilling, me and my friends, and we were just taking a stroll. We got to a place, a kiosk kind of, and I needed a bottle of water. That's what was in my mind, right? And this other guy said they needed some soft drinks to drink. And one of them went for a bottle of Pepsi, the other a bottle of Coke. At that point, it was awkward, right? I felt in my mind that why not, feel among the group, right? We came out together. How would it seem as though somebody is taking Coke and the other is taking a bottle of Pepsi and some alien is taking a bottle of water? Here's what I'm talking about. At that situation, it was a dilemma. It was either I please my friends or I please myself. I stayed true to my values, or I, bent my values to fit in with what was ideal in that situation. Because at that time I wasn't in the room to take in the mindset of taking anything sugary, right? So it was either I stuck to my values or I filled into the group of friends. And that was a dilemma for me. But ultimately and eventually, I actually went for my bottle of water. And here's what's important, right? They understood that. And that's because I was actually in the right company, right? I was actually having the right association. Now, the thing is, there are many of us who are not that privileged, right? We're not really in the group of friends who would want your best against you being alienated from what is traditional amongst you, right? And you tend to try to please other people. You tend to try to fit into the gap, fit into the group, and you destroy your values. You demean yourself. You abase your person. You diminish your proclivities and your beliefs. That's not something you should do, and you should be very conscious of that. We're going to stick around. We're going to be talking about what are the criteria that you need if you're going to select very, very, very destiny, purposeful, and destination minded friends, right? People who are going to see that your vision is fulfilled, not people who are going to tarnish every possibility of you achieving that vision. And trust me, many people are victims of that. And when I see that, it's really so appalling to me, because I really can't understand why people will conform to willful blindness, right? You know this is wrong for you. This person is wrong for you. You know you're not supposed to be in this company. This does not conform with your beliefs. And you ultimately, I don't know, you just step into it believing that either you change them or you can make something out of it, but they end up changing you for the worse. That's not something you should go into, right? So your associations are ultimately going to affect your discretions. What do I mean by your discretions? What you like, what you enjoy, what you feel inclined to, what intrigues you. The associations are going to affect those things. If you chill among friends who all they want to take in the morning is alcohol, that's ultimately what you're going to want to take. If you chill among friends who, when they wake up, they're thinking about their work, they're thinking about their purposes, they're thinking about their lives, how they're going to better their future, eventually you're going to conform to that mindset, right? Somebody puts it this way. He says you are the average of your friends. If you hang around 5 good, futuristic, intelligent, purposeful individuals, then you did not count well, because you are actually the 6th person. And that's also true vice versa, right? If you hang around people who are purposeless, who are mediocres, they are committed to complacency, they are failures in all ramifications, then you didn't count well. You're actually the 6th person. And what you want to do as an individual and as a pathfinder is to get yourself out of that rat race. You won't want to conform to the circle of mediocrity that we found in our world currently. So your associations will affect your discretions and your decisions. Second thing, your association is going to affect your thoughts. What do I mean by affect your thoughts? Now, what you should understand that the only thing that a human being has most valuable in its entirety, whatever you consider, I don't care what you have, the amount of cars, the amount of houses, your friends, your business acumen, your intellectual prowess, I really don't care. The most important thing you have in your life right now is your mind. And anybody who can come into that space and start influencing that space is ultimately going to influence your life in totality. Everybody around, everything you see today was bettered through the faculty of the mind. That's what you should understand. So if your mind is not healthy, if you're not thinking good positive thoughts, if people who are around you are not feeding you with good proclivities, good tendencies, trust me, you are in the wrong association and you should bail out right now. So that's the second thing your association is going to do to you. It's going to ultimately affect your thoughts, your thinking patterns, the thing you think about, the thing you concentrate on. And mind you, whatever you concentrate on, whatever you think about most of the time, ultimately expands and comes into reality. I know that sounds cliche and motivational speaking, but it's true. The reality in your life right now, what you've conformed to, what you are, what you think you can be, who you're going to eventually become, it is really because of what you fed your mind thus far, right? So what that means is, if you don't like who you have become, and you don't like who you see yourself becoming, then you should change what you allow into your mind space, right? And not everybody is willing to do that, but I trust you are willing to do that because you are listening to this right now. So your associations are going to affect your thoughts and your decisions. Third thing, your associations will affect your actions, your steps, your movement, where you going, what you do. Your associations will ultimately affect that. So in the analogy I gave us, right, three friends, we are out. I need a bottle of water, the other one wants a bottle of Coke, the other one took a bottle of Pepsi. The natural inclination to me at that point was to go for any soft drink, right, just to feel among. You get that? If I was going to go with what my mind was telling me, it was to feel among. And feeling among right there and then would mean going for a soft drink. That wasn't what would be good for me, right? But if you hang around the people who perpetually all they want is soft drinks, and what I mean by soft drinks is this, in a figurative way. So you hang around people who want everything soft. They're not inclined to doing anything futuristic. They don't want to go through the stress now, and all they want to do is enjoy their life. They are inclined to instant gratification, right? They want to enjoy their life right now. They don't want to invest anything into their future. That's all you're going to be. That's how you're going to think. So you want to hang around people who understand that everything in life has a price. There is a price to be paid for where you want to go. The difference between who you are right now and who you want to become is what you are yet to do. And not many people are willing to pay the price to take them to where they want to go. Many people, I for one, was a victim of that, right? Wishful thinking. We wishfully think of what we want. If we get to know what is required to get what we want, most times we are not willing to do it. And the problem is many people actually don't. But the bigger challenge there is when they get to know, they are not willing to do it. I was a victim of that, and I found out that was actually because of the people I was hanging around. And to curb that and to get myself out of that rat race, I just kicked out of that association, that relationship in totality. So your associations, consequently, trust me about this. I have had a first-hand experience of this, and trust me, I wouldn't want you to be in that state of being limited by other people's mindset, being limited by other people's ingenuity, right? Falsehood, their cynicism and their malevolence. You don't want to be in that association. So notice, the associations will ultimately affect your actions. Fourthly, your associations will affect your destination. And there is the bigger question, right? Exactly where are you going with your life? Where are you going with your life? Where are you going? Where do you want to be? In the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 15, 20 years? Where exactly do you see yourself? Because the truth is, if you're not going anywhere, right? If you haven't set, we are aiming beings as humans. We are beings who aim. We set a destination, and then we move intentionally towards that destination until we arrive. So, if you don't have a destination for your life, then on what basis do you pick your associations? That's a very important question right there, right? If you don't know where you're going, so how do you know the people who are fit for you on that journey? It's important to set your destination, because ultimately the people you're going to be associating yourself with will affect that destination. So pick your associations very, very intentionally. And I mean this very precisely. You need to be intentional in picking your associations. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, after it's all been said and done, this last point is what is going to speak in your life in a very, very, very big way. Your associations can do and undo you. So this friend of mine came up to me, and we were in school together, in secondary school. This guy was like the mathematician of the class. I was literally looking up to this guy. I wanted to be like him when it comes to math. We were competing back then, and I was always trying to meet up in marks. I literally can cry because of losing marks to this guy, right? We wrote a test. If he gets a higher score than I did, I would be really troubled. Fast forward 3 years. we had gotten into the space of life where they call the real world, right? And this guy is literally doing, respectfully speaking and lovingly speaking, I love him wherever he is, whatever he's doing, even if I'm not in support of it, in the sense that he has chosen to associate himself with people who are not futuristic, who are not like, visionary and future minded, right? And that has ultimately affected his life. And currently, he's not someone I want to associate myself with, right? So, your associations can literally do and undo you. Now, come to think of it. When I think of it right now, I myself, I am associating with people who are futuristic, who think ahead, who know what they want for their lives, who know that life is a gift, right? I hope you understand that life is a gift, and what you do with this gift is left to you. And basically, who you associate yourself with is going to determine how far you're going to go. So it's best and it's very important to associate yourself with people who are futuristic, people who think ahead, who know where they are going, who have a destination, who have a path, who have a purpose, right? That is it. So choose your associations very, very intently and very wisely. Again, there are people who take the view that, you don't have to stress yourself getting acquainted with people. And to those people, I don't feel bad for them, though. I don't feel contempt for them. That's because people are cynical in a way. People are malevolent in a way. You can hardly trust people, and that's justifiable because if you look around you, people are naive, and if you get into a group of people, your naivety is going to be destroyed because you're going to find out that your ignorance cannot protect you. People are actually, they can and they will harm you in a real sense, and you can't really know the extent of that. They can break you to the extent that you are beyond repair, and so people tend to try to avoid that. Maybe they might have experienced it once or twice, and so they tend to keep away from every other relationship in their current life. Or they can get into relationships supposedly, because the definition of a relationship is proximity, right? It's intricacy. So they can say, I'm in a friendship with somebody, I'm in a relationship with somebody, but that's not really true because they don't trust the person whom they call a friend. And I wouldn't want you to do that. It's okay that you are reserved, right? It's okay that you are conservative in a way, but there are good people out there, and trust me, a good friend sticks closer than a brother. And the problem there is, how do you find a good friend? I'm going to give us some tips. Are they 100% assured? That's not something I can tell you, but I can tell you that it's going to help you in your quest for good relationships that will accentuate your life, right? That will take you to a higher level, a soaring altitude, right? So be intentional about making friends. What are the criteria you should look for in a friend? Who is your friend, first of all? Who is a friend? That's a question, right? Who is a friend? First of all, a friend is somebody who wants your good. And not many people do that. Not even your family members do that. Not even your closest acquaintances want your good. There are many people around your life who are pretenders. They are just waiting for you to fall sick so they can laugh about it. That's it. That's the truth. And you wouldn't want to accept that, but it is true. People are not all good. There is a bad side to people, and it seems that frequently overshadows the good side. So people are malevolent in a way. I mean that because they wish you. They wish ill for you. So your friend very rarely is that person who wants your good. And you want to be intentional about finding that person, because greater love has no man than this, that a friend lays down his life for his brother. I don't know if you can believe that, but it's a possibility that you have a friend who can, in a case of life and death, trust me, these people are rare. Rarer than you can think. And for you to find that, it's really hard, but they're out there. There are people who can literally keep their hand for a bullet approaching your head. They can sacrifice their arm for a bullet approaching your head. So a friend, first criteria, is somebody who genuinely wants your good as an individual. The second criteria you should consider in choosing a friend is somebody whose presence you cherish. You don't want to be among people who you feel alienated from, right? Who all they want to do is all you don't want to do. That makes sense, right? They always, constantly, perpetually want to engage in like activities. They want to go to places. They want to do things that you are not inclined to, right? You are not that kind of person. It's like a married woman having a circle of friends who are single. All they're going to be talking about is singleness, and that's not good for the married woman, right? So it's important you associate yourself with people whose presence reflect your person, your values, and therefore you cherish them. That's the second thing you should understand in choosing a friend. This is an important criteria you want to pay really close attention to. A real friend is somebody who loves you the way you are, but then he or she loves you too much to leave you the way you are. Now, I understand those are very contradicting features, right? Somebody loves you the way you are, but he's too loving, or he feels too attached to you to leave you the way you are. Now, here's what I mean by that. So there are many people who will come around your life and they see you doing a whole lot of wrong things. They are not concerned about it. They don't care about you. So wherever you go in, if you're derailing, it's none of their business. All they want is to, get into association with you just to benefit what you have to offer. So it doesn't matter to them what you're doing with your life. If you're doing something wrong, if you're going to the pit, if you're going to hell, in fact, they don't care. So a real friend is somebody who can tell you the truth to your face. Why? Because he or she loves you the way you are, but loves you too much to leave you the way you are. You're going to hell. You're going to the abyss. They want to pad you off that way, that highway to failure. They're going to tell you the truth even though it hurts you, even if it's the last thing you want to hear at that time. Now the question is, do you have such people in your life? Or is it that all you have in your life are sycophants, people who come around you, all they do is hey, hey. Or they come to you for celebration. You win, they celebrate. You fail, they run. Are those the kind of people you're keeping in your life currently? You want to consider that, and you ask yourself this very intentionally. And what do I mean by ask? Because many people don't actually know how to ask themselves questions. You ask yourself a question intending to know. You don't just ask for the purpose of asking. It's not that you just, throwing the question out there. You sit up in your bed. You take out a sheet of paper. You write a list of all the people who are consuming most of your time currently, the friends with which you spend most of your time as it stands right now. You ask yourself this very important question: what kind of a person am I becoming because of this relationship? Now, the answer to that is going to flabbergast you. Trust me, you're going to be totally blown up. You're going to realize that there are many, respectfully speaking right now, but I wouldn't want to use the word useless, but there are many people in your life right now who are not useful. And I'm not suggesting to you that because you're not reaping an instant benefit from some relationships in your life right now, you should throw them away. There are people who are very resourceful, who can help you instantly, but there are people who you can trust. There are people who the contribution they bring to your life is the fact that you can call them in the middle of the night asking for a favor and they will be there for you. So why I say that is because I know some of us might listen to me right now and say, well, okay, this is a list of 10 people. This person is not offering anything financially. This person has no contact in his network that will accentuate me, so I'm striking them out. No, there are destiny connectors, right? There are people who are not the people that are going to help you, but they know the person who is going to help you, and that goes on indefinitely because some know who will help you, some know who knows who will help you. And you want to keep very good people around you, right? So ask yourself that question: what kind of a person am I becoming by reason of this relationship? Ladies and gentlemen, it all boils down to this, because when it's all been said and done, trust me, more would have been said than done. But here's what you want to understand: nothing grows on ice, right? Nothing grows on ice, literally, and I mean that in the rawest sense you can think of it. Nothing grows on ice. And what I mean by that figuratively is that if we let traditions, if we let the norm, if we let the status quo define how we're going to live our lives, then no new ideas are going to sprout. We're not going to think innovatively. We're not going to to go into situations, become better. Because the new norm these days is that you don't need people to progress, you don't need people to advance your life. I'm not totally against that, and I'm not saying that is wrong in a sense, but you want to understand something. Conservatives and liberarians, the liberarian will tell you that, well, I mean, it's best to always bend the rule once in a while or most of the times. And the conservative individual will tell you, well, I mean, if things are working this way, why then change it? Who changed what works? The problem with that contradiction is that they are not wrong, both of them. They are not wrong in all ramifications, right? But those two ideologies are only applicable in special circumstances. So it's not always applicable. It's not always right to be a liberarian in your thinking. You're not always supposed to be that kind of individual who constantly associates or goes out or is free with every individual you meet. And it's not safe. It's not safe to be conservative because there is strength in numbers. A twofold cord cannot easily be broken, right? So there is strength in numbers, and it's necessary you associate yourself with people who will accentuate you. And there are two types of relationships, right? We have positive and toxic relationships. Positive because they nourish you. You can say positive or nourishing, or toxic or destructive relationships. What do positive relationships do to you? Positive relationships are relationships with people, associations with people who accentuate you, who motivate you, who drive you, who build you, who buttress you, who bring out the best in you, who sees the best in you. Those are the people who nourish your life, who make you better than you already are. Toxic relationships deplete you, they abase you, they diminish you to the point where you become nothing. And those are the people you want to keep away from, right? Trust me. If you want to have a friend, he who will have friends must first show himself friendly. That's scriptural. And I don't care what religion you practice. I'm a Christian by religion, but then it crosses across all religions. Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, all religions believe this one thing, one fact. He who wants a friend must first show himself friendly. And that's raw in a sense, right? Because the truth is, you can be too friendly and people will take advantage of you. You can go out there and you want to make friends, you want to associate yourself, you want to better the lives of people. You know that people can make a better input into your life and consequently your life can be better, but you can try too hard, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to become stupid in your quest for friendship. You don't want people to look down on you. That's very important. You wouldn't want to step into a circle where you have nothing to offer and you're like the sheep in the pack of wolves. Even if that's beneficial in a sense, it's also destructive, not only to your physical person, but to your mental construct. And you want to avoid that. So if you want a friend, ladies and gentlemen, you first have to show yourself friendly. And you have to show the friend you want who you are. Now, here's what I mean by that. You don't want to go show people who you're not. You don't want to go out there and relate with people on the basis of falsehood. You don't want to pretend. You don't want to go out there and pretend. If you want a friend, be true to yourself. Go out there. Because if you go out looking for a friend, chances are you find none. But if you go out there to be a friend, chances are you're going to find many. Let me reiterate that for a moment. So if you go out there looking for a friend, who is going to be my friend? You put on a hat. Who is going to be my friend? It's written on the hat. Who is available to be a friend with me? Trust me, you're not going to find anybody to be a friend with. But if you go out there and present yourself, I am here to be a friend who is like me, who behaves like me, who thinks like me, who is futuristic, who is purposeful in his thinking, you're going to attract to yourself people who are like you, who have your ideals, who have your ideologies, your beliefs, your values. And that's not something you can trade, right? That's life. That's what life is all about. Because people can make your life a whole lot worse, but truly they can make it a whole lot easier. Somebody says this, and I totally believe it's true, that you are 4 people away from your greatest breakthrough. The truth is, you're going to know at least 1,000 people in your life. And your 1,000 people, especially with the aid of social media nowadays, your 1,000 people are going to know at least 1,000 each. So that keeps you one person away from a million people, and two people away from a whole billion of individuals, literally. So you want to associate yourself with people, right? You want people to contribute into your life, and you want to contribute to people's life also. When it's all been said and done, you want to be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Don't try to please anybody. Am I saying you're perfect the way you are? No. Am I saying there is no other adjustments you can do to your personality? No. Am I saying you are better angelic? No. It's necessary that you compete, but don't compete with people. Compete with yourself, your former self, who you were yesterday. Your goal should be to beat who you were yesterday, even if it's just a percent or even half of a percentage. You just keep being better than you were yesterday, and trust me, people are going to notice that. And people who are inclined to that lifestyle, who seek to be better than they were, are going to come into your space. And that's friendship, right? That's friendship. It's not something you can trade, and it's life. And this is not a test for something else. This is life. We are not rehearsing for something else, right? If you leave, this is the best shot you have to give. Whatever you do right now is all you can do ever. You don't have a second life you're going into. And people need to understand this. You need to understand it as an individual, right? That this is the life, the most vaunted life. Beings are bettered into life. Somebody said it's intentional. Life is intentional, and it's true in a way, because, and the question there is, whose intent was it? Because it's of my opinion that I did not decide to be bettered, right? You did not decide to be bettered, but it's too beautiful, too constructed to be a coincidence. So it was constructed intentionally, and I believe God did that. And if He did that, He didn't just construct you, He didn't just create you, He created you and put you in a space with many other people. It means that everybody in that space is necessary for you to fulfill your purpose. Because as individuals, we are interdependent. We are not independent, we are not dependent, we are interdependent. And it's important you understand that. Now, I said I have a special bonus for us, and trust me, when you find people who are willing to contribute to your life positively, and when I say positively, not necessarily in the case of finances alone, right? People who are willing to give you the resources you need to become better, to grow yourself, to be a better human in the society, in the business space, in educational space, in your spiritual space. Anybody you find who is willing to contribute to the betterment of your life, keep that person close to you. The Pathfinder Global Family. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please do that. I don't know what you're waiting for, but just do that right away, right? Subscribe to the family, and so you get, and please turn off the notification bell, right? So that you can get notified whenever we post content like this that will help you. Because trust me, you're in the 1%ers, people who know that their lives can be better than it is right now, and know where to get the resources to accentuate themselves. This is one of that resource. And the second resource, which is my special bonus to you, is this. I'm going to drop a link below this video to how to win friends and influence people. Now, when you go through that material, it's literally going to transform your life, because you're going to find out that you are doing ill to yourself if you don't have people, friends, not just random people, but friends in your life. You're doing ill to yourself. So I'm going to leave a link down below this video, somewhere around in the screen, up or wherever. Just click the link or in the description, better still, and it's going to take you to that resource, right? How to win friends and influence people. And we made a video last week that I trust is going to transform you, and it was really on the basis of purpose, right? The fact that people are living unintendedly, they're just loafing about, they don't know what they want to do with their lives. So if you're such a person who is yet to find his path, what he or she should do on the earth, then I recommend that video to you. We're going to leave a link somewhere on the screen in this video. Click on it and go watch that video. And please, if you find this video helpful to you, share to as many as you can see and find. Your friends, your brothers, your sisters, somebody you know is inclined to personal development, spiritual, physical, economical, all ramifications of life. Somebody who is inclined to developing holistically. do share these videos to such a person. Everybody you can see and find, and trust me, people are going to thank you for it. So thank you for your time, and do please anticipate the next section, because it promises to be nothing short of transformative, right? So do stay blessed and take very good care of yourself, right? Do that for me. Take care. Bye bye.